Hello and welcome to this Hurricane Melissa update. Melissa made landfall in Jamaica today. This is the satellite loop. You could see very strong, weakened when it went over Jamaica, but now it's regaining its strength once again. Here's the latest on Melissa. Makes landfall as the strongest to ever hit Jamaica with 185 mile an hour winds, maximum sustained winds. We still don't have a lot of information on it, on what's going on, but there's a lot of blocked roads, power outages, and a lot of flooding going on. To show you, here's a video from the hurricane hunters showing yesterday. This was I think this was still yesterday. Look at this view of the eye. Full stadium effect. It's like unreal. It's like some kind of movie. It's like some kind of movie. Really is just crazy. It really is. And this is some of the destruction here that we've seen here in Jamaica. So hospital was destroyed. I mean, you think of it. These kind of winds that are in this hurricane.
Oh my God! You get to help myself.
I'm sure we're going to see much more. You have to think of it like a 30-mile wide tornado. This is a view 30,000 feet above the storm. Look at that. I mean, this is this is AI generated. Yeah, right. That's AI generated. Don't put AI stuff up here. Come on. This is the flooding. This is another look at the flooding going on. So a lot of rain is falling. So there's a lot of. Here's another video of this Treasure Beach. Like I said, like being in a washing machine. It's like being in a washing machine. I'm sure there's even worse images to see. So let's get to the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Hurricane Melissa. So it landfalled as a Category 5 with 185 mile an hour winds. And it made landfall at New Hope, Jamaica, at around 1 p.m. today, with maximum sustained winds of 185 miles an hour. So let's go to the latest from the Hurricane Center on Hurricane Melissa, and look at some more satellite imagery as well. But we'll first read the first public advisory here. Powerful Melissa moving toward eastern Cuba. Conditions expected to deteriorate rapidly over the next several hours. So now eastern Cuba is next in line. As of 8 p.m., its location 18.8 north, 77.2 west, about 50 miles east-northeast of Montego Bay, Jamaica, about 160 miles southwest of Guantanamo, Cuba. Maximum sustained winds now decreased to 125 miles an hour. Is weakened, but it's starting to reorganize again. After interacting with the land in Jamaica, which is kind of mountainous. So it did disrupt the flow, but this storm is still a very formidable storm, moving north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. And the minimum central pressure 950 millibars to 8.06 inches. So as of 8 p.m., the center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 18.8 north, longitude 77.2 west. Melissa is moving toward the north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. A turn toward the northeast is expected later this evening, and a faster motion in that direction is expected Wednesday and Thursday. On the forecast track, the core of Melissa is expected to move over eastern Cuba later and early Wednesday morning, move over the southeastern or central Bahamas later on Wednesday, and approach Bermuda on Thursday or Thursday night. Maximum sustained winds are near 125 miles an hour with higher gusts. It's a Category 3 hurricane, but Melissa is expected to remain a powerful hurricane when it moves across Cuba, the Bahamas, and near Bermuda. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 30 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 195 miles from the center. So, and again, look at the map, and you see who's in line next. It's eastern Cuba, the Bahamas, and Bermuda now is under a hurricane watch as well. So the storm is not done wreaking havoc yet. And we have another satellite loop. Let's look at this one. So here's the other satellite loop that we have of Melissa, and you can clearly see that eye reorganizing after it moved over Jamaica. So it's definitely reorganizing as it takes aim at eastern Cuba. Looking at some observations here around the site here. This is Kingston, and Kingston, they had a max wind gust of only 59 since midnight. So you can see that if you were on the eastern side of the island, I mean, as bad as this was, and this was terrible, luckily it went a little more west, and that means that the eastern of the end of the island, which is where the biggest cities are, Kingston especially, avoided the worst of it. And I think the power stayed on in Kingston, which is pretty amazing. So again, if we look at Kingston, you'll see here. Let's see. I'm kind of curious as to how much rainfall they've got. I don't see a rainfall. I don't think they take rainfall observations. But you can see here some of the conditions that they had to deal with today. But just tropical storm type conditions. They didn't really get into the hurricane conditions because of the track of the storm and the fact that the eye wall was 30 miles. I mean, you had 30 miles circumference, but luckily it wasn't a bigger storm. So it was able to basically, if you were on this half of Jamaica, you did a lot better. If you were on this half of Jamaica, this area got devastated. So this is pretty much the information you have. I don't think this takes precipitation into account. It does not. But conditions will rapidly deteriorate here in Guantanamo, Cuba. There's already a wind gust to, they've already gusted to 61. Right now they got a gust to 6, so we're going to see conditions rapidly deteriorate in this area. And this is the next area that's going to be getting hit very hard by this hurricane at this point. So that is, we'll go to Ventus Sky here for a moment, and we'll take a look at, actually not Ventus Sky. Let's just use windy.com. Let's use windy.com. So here's the storm right here. You can see it right here. We'll put wind gusts in here for you. Of course, we know the model's kind of underdoing this storm as far as the strength goes. But you'll see that it has regained some of its strength, but it will move over when it moves over eastern Cuba. It will take another hit to its strength again. But then this is a bad situation for the Bahamas because it looks like the European has it strengthening again tomorrow. And we're seeing those winds pick up again as it moves over the Bahamas, and it looks like it moves right over one of these islands right here. Not sure which one that is, but this island is going to get hit very hard by some really rough conditions here. So it looks like the Bahamas are going to be dealing with some really bad conditions as we head into Wednesday. And then that pulls out. You see how it strengthens again once it gets past there, and that is a big concern once it gets past. So once it's done with these bigger islands here, once it gets over this warm water, it's probably going to explode again. And it does pick up some movement, but it's still not moving that fast. It's not in a big hurry. And let's also take a look at the flash intensity because you'll start seeing some more lightning again around the eye again, which is another sign of strengthening as it is moving toward. So it is strengthening. Once it gets back over the water, it's like think of it like a little bit of a punch when it goes over the land. But then once it gets back over the water, it just regains its strength again, which is what we're seeing. And let's just go to the models here for a moment here. It's kind of start seeing in the southeast. We're just going to, because I need a closer, so we don't see it yet, but as we move to the GFS, let's go to the European. So show you, again, here's the model, and there it is going right over Bermuda right there. So once it's done with Cuba, it's going to go over Bermuda. So Cuba, obviously under a hurricane warning right now, and that's the eastern part of Cuba, and then the Bahamas and then once it's done with that, it's gonna threaten Bermuda. So it's literally going to at least 3 places, at least that we know of, that are gonna face significant devastation from this hurricane. Go to the HWRF. This is the hurricane model here we can use, which so far seems to be the best one. So you can see it goes over Cuba, but it's not over there very long. Weaken a little bit, but then it'll regain its strength once it goes back to hitting the. So this model, this is a different model. Seems like it does not have it doing that, but I honestly think it could really pick up strength again once it gets back over these waters. I mean, this is a very powerful hurricane, and let's see. We go to the wind here. You can see the wind here. It goes over, and then it boom. I mean, this one does not have it gain back its strength like the other model did. I think that was the European. But honestly, I think it could, considering how quickly it's regained its strength after moving over Jamaica. You can see how it moved over Jamaica. Had the western side got hit, but the eastern side didn't get hit too bad. So I'm really hoping and praying that everybody in Jamaica, if they couldn't get off the island, went to the east side to avoid the worst of this storm. Because again, think of it like a big tornado almost, because that's what it's like when you're dealing with winds that high. And then there it goes over Cuba, and then over Bermuda, and then you can see it just keeps going. So the storm is going to remain a major hurricane for a while at this point. That is all. Just a brief video. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to talk about our weather and the LLJ, the weather rain that we're going to be dealing with on tomorrow night. But a definitely very impressive storm here. Going back to the satellite here again, you can see all the lightning going on here. This is strengthening again for sure. Pray for Jamaica, pray for Eastern Cuba, pray for the Bahamas, and for that, and maybe Bermuda too, because this storm is gonna. I'm sure that we're going to hear about a lot of horror stories, and unfortunately, there are going to be fatalities for the people who didn't evacuate. This is not a storm you want to stick around and watch. You want to just get the hell out of the way when this thing comes through. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good night.